Now today I'm going to be making up a really scrummy burger. Now what we're going to do is use lamb mince for this, because it's going to be a lamb burger in a sort of Greek style if you like, because I'm also going to be adding in some feta cheese, you've got black olives, garlic, you've got the onion and herbs and spices, and it all just comes together to make a really yummy burger. Now what we're going to do is serve it up, and we're going to put some really nice refreshing mint sauce with garlic and cucumber, and it just complements that wonderful burger, and it's just so delish. So for making these lamb burgers, I'm just going to go through the ingredients I'm going to use. Now I've got 1 kilogram of lamb mince, so that's 2.2 pounds in weight. Now I've also got feta cheese, going to use 100 grams of that, so half that packet. We're just going to crumble that into the lamb mince. Olives, black olives, make sure there's no pips and drain them off. I've probably got about 15 or 20 of those, so I'm just going to chop those down a little bit finer. 3 cloves of garlic, going to crush those. 1 red onion, peel that, chop it down as fine as you can. I've also got some tomato puree, going to use a good splodge of that. I'd probably say a couple of tablespoons of tomato puree. 1 teaspoon, that's a small spoon, of oregano. 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, plus a good pinch of salt. You know, you need to season up the lamb mince, get it well seasoned. I've also got 1 beaten egg, and we've got some breadcrumbs, probably about 50 or 60 grams. I just used an old bread roll that had sort of gone a bit drier and made my own breadcrumbs. So nice and simple, all that goes in the bowl, gets mixed up to make your patés, which are going to make these delicious burgers once we've cooked them up. Now we're also going to be serving this with a mint sauce, so I'm just going to clear this out of the way and show you the ingredients for making up this really simple mint sauce. So for making up this mint sauce, really simple to do. Now I've got 150 millilitres of natural yoghurt. This is a natural Greek yoghurt, so 150 millilitres. Cucumber to give it a bit of a crunch. Now I've got about 1/3 of a cucumber there, slice it down the middle, and then I scooped with a small spoon all the sort of seeds out, because there's quite a lot of liquid in there, so I just wanted, you know, the cucumber itself and not all the seeds. And then obviously in the bowl there, I've already chopped mine up. 1 clove of garlic, doesn't need to be a very big clove of garlic, smallish one. Just crush that, so just crush it up nice and fine and add that in, and it will give it a lovely sort of garlicky flavour. Now fresh mint, I've got a sprig of mint there, break the leaves off and then you chop it up as I've done, got it in the bowl there. And we'll need to season it with some salt and freshly ground black pepper. Now because this is so quick to do and simple, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on and sort it out now. Now first of all, I'm going to put some salt, freshly ground black pepper, and what I can do, I'm going to do it in a slightly bigger bowl, like that. And I've also got the mint. Let's get that in there. And then we've got this crunchy cucumber. That's it. Now with the garlic, I've actually got my little crusher machine, quite cheap to buy. Just put your garlic clove in and you can give that a squeeze, like that. Job done. Now let's just give that a really good mix up. Try and get everything mixed up, and then we can just leave that in the fridge, and that will be a nice cool dip for later on. That's it, we can always give it another stir later. Now I'm just going to try a little bit of that on the end of the spoon, to make sure that's good. Really nice. Put a little bit more that black pepper in. Lovely with that mint. And there you go, you've got a lovely simple mint sauce. We can put that in the fridge. So cover it up a little bit of cellophane, put it in the fridge until you need it. Now what I'm going to do once I've done that is get on with making up the lamb mixture for the burgers. I'm just going to start with some salt and pepper seasoning. But also I've got the oregano, and then we've got the coriander, just trying to spread it out a little bit, and then we're going to mix it up, and then we've got the ground cumin. Now I'm going to tip that into the bowl, so I'm careful. Let's just sort of mix that as we go, like that. Now again, I'm just going to put a little bit more salt in there. Like that. You've got to make sure it's well seasoned. Now after that, we can put it in any order, but I've got tomato puree. Let's say a good splodge of that. And then we've got the olives, the feta cheese. So just gonna, whoops, don't want the liquid in there. Now with the feta cheese, just gonna kind of crumble that really. We've got that onion, see I've chopped it up fairly fine. Crushed up garlic, goes really well with lamb. And we've got the breadcrumbs. And the beaten egg. Now what you want to do now is get your hands in there, give that a good mix over, and just get it so it's all nicely combined. So I'm just going to get my hands in there. Now when you're doing this, obviously try and use a big bowl, which is what I've done. I've used this plastic one because it was, you know, it was big on that hand. So I'm just going to keep moving this around. Try and get it all nicely combined, and then afterwards we can shape it into burgers like little patés. So I'll carry on doing this. So I've just been combining that, mixing it all up, and I think we're pretty much done. So leave that there and let's start grabbing a piece and making up some nice burgers. Now I'm just going to grab a piece of this because I do want to make a nice big burger. So yeah, let's see how we get on with that. Just bring it together first, and then what we can do is just flatten it out. Now I've used a bit of sort of, you know, heat-proof paper, sort of parchment paper, and I've put a little bit of oil just over it because I don't want these sticking, and then obviously they can go in the fridge. I think the main thing is try and flatten them out a little bit, probably no more than a couple of centimetres thick if you can. So let's just, that's it, looking good, looking good. And I think that's going to be a good size for the rolls that I've got. So there's one of them, decent sized burger there. So I finished mine, just turn that around to show you. Look at that, I've got 2 really nice big sized burgers and 4 slightly smaller ones. So, you know, do it as you want. Now what I'm going to do is just put a bit of cellophane over that, pop it in the fridge. I'd probably say for about half an hour or a little bit longer. If you're having your barbecue or you want to cook them up later on, leave them in the fridge till they're ready. That's it, I'm just going to pop those in the fridge. So I've left my burgers in the fridge for about half an hour, but as I say, you can leave them for longer until you're ready to cook them really. Now I'm just going to take those out. I'm going to go and get on with the cooking. So I'm going to get on with the cooking. Now I've got myself a griddle pan, but you could just use like a non-stick frying pan if that's what you got, or obviously go and put it on the barbecue, it'd be really good. Now what I'm going to do is just going to cook one of these up to start with. Now before I do you want to get some oil and put that on both sides. So whether it's going in the pan or the barbecue, put some oil on it. Now just turn that over, try and be nice and gentle. That's it. That's it, do the same on this side. Ready to go. Now switch the heat on. Now I'm probably going to do mine on about a medium heat, but you know, this griddle's like a cast iron pan, it really holds the heat, so you don't want to do it too quick, but obviously you want to get a little bit of a colour on the outside as well. So let's just wait for that to warm up slightly. Now let's just start to smoke a little bit. Now I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of oil in there. That's it. And then I can pick up the burger. Try and be careful with it, don't want it all sort of coming apart. Let's say round about medium heat. Now in total we're going to be cooking for about 8 minutes. Now I'm just going to turn the heat down a little bit because it is quite hot. That's it. So I'll leave that cooking. Now I've been cooking mine, just come out for 4 minutes. Again, be very careful with it. Flip over. Look at that, beautiful colour. Now again, I'm going to leave it on the other side, probably for about 4 minutes. But if the heat is too high, then obviously do turn it down, because you want to make sure it's cooked all the way through. And again, I've left it on this side for just coming up for 4 minutes. I'm just going to turn this over one more time. Lovely. Oh, delicious. Now I've turned it over because I'm going to serve it up this way up. So make sure it's cooked. Now the way you can test that is just find the thickish part, put a knife in, give it a little squeeze, and just make sure the juices run clear. These are running clear, so this is pretty much done. So I'm going to switch the heat off, take it over the table and serve it up. Bring the pan over, which is really hot. I've got my bun and I've actually just put it under the grill, slightly toast it. So let's get cracking. Now I've got a little bit of that yoghurt, plain yoghurt, and what I'm going to do is start with, just put a little bit on both sides of the bun. I'm going to get my lettuce, nice couple of bits of lettuce there. And I've got one of these tomatoes. These are like beefsteak tomatoes, really big ones. I'm just going to bring that beautiful burger. Look at that, that fills the bun really nicely. And then of course we've got that mint sauce with the garlic and that, cucumber. And I am just going to put that on top because that is going to be just absolutely beautiful with this. Look at that. Oh. And then we can finally give it a little squash down so it just kind of oozes out the side. And you have got a delicious burger there. Let me just show you this. Oh, that is just an heavenly burger. Now of course I'm going to have to try this, so I'm going to try and pick it up, give it a good, oh, let's have a go. Let's have a bit of this. Oh, lovely, absolutely lovely. Really nice and moist, really well cooked. Just gonna have another bit. Oh, absolutely delicious. The spices, and you get the feta cheese and a little bit of onion, and that minty sauce really is topping it up. Oh, delicious. You're gonna need a tissue for this one, but oh, it's so good. You've got to go and make this. And obviously, as I say, you can do it on the barbecue. Just have another bit. That is so good. Now, if you prefer, you don't have to put yours in these burger buns. You could maybe just have a bit of pita bread and put yours on top of the pita bread, serve that up in the same way, knife and fork, you know, entirely up to you. But it's a delicious burger, beautiful lamb burger, Thanks for watching my videos. I hope to see you again soon. The Original Naked Chef.